that which you fear the most will have to happen to you. I feel like this is a wildly misunderstood concept. I feel like things that we fear often happen to us, but I don't think for the reasons you think. Not for the fear itself. There's other reasons. Anyway, you're noticing a karmic retribution. You're noticing a pattern and a cycle of your behavior magically coming around and affecting you, but you're misunderstanding it, thinking it's the fear. I mean, it could be the fear. It's probably the fear on some level. Or like, there are probably places you go where that is taken into effect. But if you're using it as an all-around life lesson, like it's true in every case, it just seems like you're missing a lot of karmic life lessons because you think things are just happening because you feared them and you're not really understanding what. Whatever it is, you have to open your mind and be teachable. You have to ask the question, what is it? What am I supposed to learn from this? For real, ask. With an eye single to the Lord, with your heart open, like for real, 100%. Asking to know. Asking God to know. And sometimes you don't want to know. Sometimes you're not ready to know, but at least recognize it. Try to recognize it. Are you actually asking God to know? It helps to know where you are. You wanted to know. You asked. You asked, but you didn't hear. Why do the ears not hear? Because we don't hear with the ears. We hear with the brain, right? The ears are like a tool. The brain hears it, and what's there to interpret the brain? What's feeling the brain? Do its thing. I feel like the brain gets the signals and processes them and then makes a judgment call just on its own. I don't know. Why would it do that? Why would it want to do that? Does it have some kind of drive, some kind of chemical reward toward what? Love or hate? Like, why would you choose one or the other? Just what logically makes sense to you? Or is there a feeling behind it? Just instinct? Is that the natural man is going only by feelings? And then there's like the logical man going by thinking about things and trying to get the better outcome by thinking it over. Why would either one be better? I think the thinking man, though, can think about a few logical things that just are better. Like, wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. But then the thinking man can go a little crazy, a little out of balance. If it's all thinking all the time, then maybe it's an explosion of technology and crap. And we have gadgets we don't need and so much garbage everywhere. And we're just like, I don't know how to stop. So we need to get back off with the thinking a little bit, go back to a little bit of like, that's why with the balance of the natural man, but it's, maybe the natural man could be tamed a little bit with love, because the natural man left untamed is stealing from me, and I don't want to be stolen from. I hate that. It's so annoying. Like, I think every single person in this community, if we all just turned around and asked our neighbor what they need and we just made sure everyone had their needs met, I think we could just stop the stealing. Like, that would be really freaking amazing. I think everybody would want to do it, and everybody would feel really a lot of love in doing that. We could just do like, just make dumpster diving legal. That's the dumbest thing, to have it illegal. Just make it legal, because if you're like, when you're stealing, it's because you're taking something from somebody that they wanted, that they still had in their like possession, in their like boundary limits of like their vehicle or their apartment. Just kind of the place they've made, like, this is my boundaries where I live. This is my place. And like, I get to say what goes on in here, you know, within reason. The community is like, this is what we want to have happen in our community. Just do it like we want, because you live here and this is what we all want. So anyway, if I have something that I still want, I'm still using this pair of scissors. Like, somebody comes and takes it from me. It's super annoying because now I don't have scissors. If someone comes and just asks to borrow them, sure, just bring them back. Don't break them. If you break them, replace them. But then I learned this lesson on the street. Actually, I don't know if I already knew it, but this guy was articulating it. He lived in an old house on the corner. He was lamenting stealing and how we could just have a better thing. It would be kind of like a library. Just come check out the tool instead of stealing the tool. And then we all need like 10,000 tools. We could just help each other and just rent just like, not even rent, but just borrow the tools around. And then just, we all together just buy new ones when one breaks. We just find them. Like, we're always finding things. I don't know. It just made no sense to steal. But anyway, things just keep getting cycled around in the community anyway, until they're so worn out that they no longer function, and then they just can go away. Like, dumpster diving makes a whole lot of sense, because a lot of people could survive and thrive dumpster diving if they just made it legal. But if it's illegal, then it becomes a criminal activity, and only the criminals are benefiting from the dumpster diving, and like the communities could really benefit from dumpster diving, because there's a lot of good usable things that we just don't have a funnel for. We can take them to a thrift store. A lot of that stuff gets thrown away. We can, and then it's expensive to buy back. And like, I wouldn't care if I just want to give it to somebody who wants it for free. So maybe there could be like a dumpster, like at the end of the street, that's like a stuffed dumpster. Like, you're not going to be a jerk and throw your cat litter in there, your dirty diapers. Like, you're going to have like a gross dumpster for that, you know, like this is like our gross can, and then this is like our good can. It's all cleaned out, it's nice, it's got, you know, everything what you put in it, you put in a plastic sack, so everything's kept separate and clean, and like, that might be nice. It's all like good usable junk that you just don't want anymore in your house. You're just like, I'm sick of this, and just throw it in the good usable stuff dumpster. And then if that gets overflowing, if nobody comes and like rifles through it and gets what they want out of it, if it doesn't get picked over, it's just it's just garbage at the end of the week. And then it can go to the garbage. But at least it gives people a chance. You could pick through and find cool things that you want. And maybe it becomes this like big toy recycling thing in the community, where you don't have to have so much toys in your house, because you can just go out to the dumpster and look for another toy. And like, and it's not gross, because it's in a kind of clean dumpster, in a kind of clean bag. Like, it's pretty clean from somebody's clean house. Like, they're cleaning their house, getting rid of their toys. They're trying to get rid of it because they want a clean house. So they're throwing it away. So it's going to be reasonably clean. You could clean them if you want as well. You can bring them into your house and wash them, and then you have a toy that your kid can play with and be entertained with for several hours, and that's great. A new thing, it's fun. And like, who cares? And then when you get sick of it, just throw it back in the dumpster. Like, I don't know. we could get by with a lot less trinkets and gadgets, because the logical man has got into the trinkets and gadgets. We're kind of like we've lost our heart. The natural man tamed with love, I guess. I don't know what the natural man is in the heart. Because the logical man is, the business model is, well, the numbers make sense. It would make sense to sell something that harms many, many, many of your brothers and sisters if you will get more money in selling it than you will in the lawsuits that they sue you with because it harmed them. And it's just like, that's a wicked act. That's against your brothers and sisters, and like, it's all about money. That's just, that's a cringy act. That act, I don't know what that is. It's not loving your neighbors as yourself, that's for sure. It just makes the whole thing worse for everyone. And maybe you get some gain out of it, but to what end? To just some more cool trinkets and gadgets? Are you having human connection? Are you doing like the John Denver stuff? Are you sitting around a campfire with your friends and like is all the pleasure and power in the world really worth not having friends? Like being able to have everyone on the planet have friends. I don't know, maybe you really don't care. I don't know. That to me feels like that's when Heavenly Mother comes out with a swatting stick. Like, no, sir. You are not going to be acting this way. You are not going to be treating your brothers and sisters like this. Absolutely not. No. Because I love you, I chastise you. Because I love you, I don't want you to grow up to be like this. Because I love you, I don't want you to act this way, hurting your brothers and sisters. Now you're not going to be doing this nonsense. Stop it. Get along. So maybe bringing women more back into the balance of power will solve some of those issues. Maybe it's a radical new idea. Maybe the women of the past were super incapable. Maybe they couldn't do as much as men. Maybe they just weren't as smart. I don't know. Maybe we evolved. Maybe women evolved. I don't think so, but if you want to think of it like that, if it helps you to integrate, tell yourself whatever story you want. We're smart, like logically. We don't suffer from all this extreme mood swings of like, oh no, I can't control my own thoughts. I need to make sure they're doing all these things so that way it helps me to be better. I don't know. These weird demands. All these odd ideas about how we are as like if we were separate. Maybe we are a different thing. Maybe men and women of species are actually different things, like different kinds of things. They look the same. They can mate and reproduce, but they go different routes because different things make sense to do for them. Like males, they don't need to survive long. In a lot of species, if you notice, they're really, really bright and colorful and like flamboyant. females are more muted because it's kind of like, sure, they would be flamboyant and the males would like that maybe, but their survivability of being muted and hidden and like more neutral colors just makes it more likely that they'll survive if they're like that. So it just happened. But it didn't matter if the males survived or not. They can be as flashy as they want to be. And the species still goes on. But maybe it is you're so radically different. The only reason you put up with each other is because the biological urge to have children, to reproduce. Is that natural? I think that will naturally curtail on its own. Doesn't that happen in like mold dishes even? Like the species get to the high point and then they just kind of go up and down up there, just kind of fluctuate, just kind of stagnate a little bit, just kind of evolve in and out, just kind of phase in and out, different groups come and go. I feel like if we relate, because everyone's like, oh, if we just go on pure biological instinct, then humanity's screwed. Like we can't survive. Maybe we can though. Maybe we can be a little smart about it because we're not like, we're smart too. We don't have to go fully all 100% just insane. We could also retain intelligence. We could just be balanced. We could try that approach. We've tried the extremes. We keep trying the extremes. It's like, your extreme was really sucked it up last time. We're going to try our extreme again. That will fix it. It's the extremes all the way. We need to be extreme. Well, if you want to go to the furthest extreme, then we're just going to have to do anarchy. And that's, anyway, the logically better solutions, the really, really free market, like the love model, like just... like, just don't look. Quit voting for Katie Kodos. Just don't look. Would it work? Would it work to just don't look or vote? You know how deer vote? They just start looking in the direction they like want to get a drink. So like start looking over there, eating a little more and just keep looking. And then they all notice each other like looking around, looking for the water. And they're like, yeah. And they just reach a maximum and pretty much they decide like they realize everybody wants to go. Most people want to go. And they go get a drink. Just where you look. If you look to creative pursuits, love pursuits, creative, like you're creating something rather than destroying something. I think that is a true principle. If you're destroying something, it's going the other way. You're going to go to the creating things way. We don't need to destroy anything. Everything we have is fine. Even the plastic, like we already have it. It's already here. There is no destroying it. We might as well just use it and like try to be responsible in the future. Try to be more responsible with the packaging, for real. We need to be a little more responsible. Why not? Why don't we? Why wouldn't we? I think we can all afford it. I think there's just something going on wacky with all the middlemen. Maybe we just need to take a step back. Everybody stops being middlemen. We just all become frontmen in agriculture, just trying to solve the planet little by little in our little pocket and then slowly build it back up, branch out. I don't know. We have a lot of cool stuff. It could be really cool. We have a lot of cool ideas, cool technology, cool knowledge. We know a lot of cool stuff. Cool stuff about science. Really cool stuff. Probably some of the coolest stuff is in science.
We just stop trying to do the extremes, just try to balance. I don't know.